We are currently at one of the most exciting times in our history. Technology is changing so rapidly, and there is more technology not only that is available to us, but the leverage of technology is now extending to things we do in our lives.
People in their everyday lives are experiencing these great digital experiences, and when they interact with a company or they go to work, they want that same experience. And in order to make that happen, a company needs to go digital.
At ENVISION, we facilitate and lead clients through a series of conversations designed to help executives align around their vision for the future and actions that are required in order to execute against that vision.
They can come together in a safe environment. It's a very creative environment with the visuals that help them to communicate more effectively.
I will be capturing the content of the conversations in words and pictures on the walls. So you'll be sitting in the room watching your words appear on the walls, and you're able to see the complexity of your situation boiled down in a simple way.
It just helps to foster that creativity, teamwork, and collaboration in a way that's usually very hard for most companies.
A client would want to engage with us ideally at a point that they're seeing a strategic shift, and where we can really help is by getting people from different parts of the organization together to define the problem and the shift that they see, and then start into defining some things that they need to start to put in place to address that shift. And it's really good for getting people from disparate parts of the organization together in a room to a common viewpoint on what's ahead of them.
We recently worked with a global transportation company to help them define their digitization strategy for the future. We gathered the CIO and his senior executive team in a facilitated session where we defined what that environment looks like in the future and the implications to various operating groups in the organization. As a result of this session and the images that were created on the walls, they actually now populate the walls of the senior executives in their offices to help them not only define their vision for the future, but to plot specific initiatives against that vision so folks can see how they line up against their vision for the future as a digital transportation company of the future. At ENVISION, over the course of the past 7 years, we have created something that's very special. We push the client to help them really stretch and grow and achieve outcomes that they have not previously been able to achieve.
in my market or my industry or wherever it is that I'm performing. Outside in is an understanding that you need a different leadership model. You may need to think differently about what kind of communities you need to develop and or participate in order to make sure you have access to the assets, the services, the people, the talent, the innovation that you need to operate. Companies who change their perspective to recognize that they can't own everything really thrive in this new ecosystem-centric world. You begin to recognize that in order to provide a function in my company, the best way to do it might be through community sourcing rather than through hiring an employee. Because the fact of the matter is not all the smart people necessarily work for you. Not all the right people work for you. You don't have all the information you need to truly thrive in this marketplace. And so you need to think very, very differently about partnerships, partnering with your customers, partnering with your suppliers, partnering with your competitors in the marketplace in order to move things forward. And I think we can create an incredibly valuable ecosystem by taking a very outside-in approach and teaching our clients to also engage in that outside-in approach. Large enterprises have a lot of really great qualities. You have some fantastic talent with some really deep knowledge. You've got great information. You've got great capital assets. Very collaborative cultures are outperforming their peers. Very information-driven cultures are outgrowing their peers in the marketplace. Gone are the days in which corporate internal communications stays inside. Now all of a sudden I'm informing my clients of what I'm doing, I'm informing my partners what I'm doing, and my competitors, but also my employees. And there's something to be said about a company who begins to focus in on execution or offense versus defense. 21st century enterprise is about an offensive strategy. How do you figure out how to turn the company from a defensive posture where information is power to an offensive posture in which information collaboration creates value? And that's where the outside enterprises are really thinking differently. It's about rethinking your digital identity and the strategy behind that and how you actually participate in these marketplaces or build the marketplaces that don't yet exist. At DXC, what this meant is we've changed the dynamic between ourselves and our partners. And I'm hoping that what we're actually doing with DXC is we're changing the discourse and openness with our clients. Because if we can create an open ecosystem effect in which all of our clients feel like they're part of a DXC ecosystem, then all of a sudden the net present value of the DXC ecosystem grows, and everybody who joins adds more value.